It's noon. This is News Now on Flow 94.9 FM Umuahia, the flow of God's own state. Good afternoon and thanks for joining us. My name is Chimdindu Chambers. The headlines. President Buhari restates resolve to jail looters. INEC threatens to bar polling agents from Saturday's elections. Nigerian army denies killing traders in Aba. And on the foreign scene, Turkey asks China to close detention camps. Details shortly. I'm glad to know that you're still there. The news just reaching us says that the Independent National Electoral Commission INEC office in Kwanpan local government area of Plateau State has been gutted by fire. INEC voter education and publicity officer in the state, Osaretin Imerobo, confirmed in a statement that a drunken security man was said to have caused the fire outbreak. During the incident, which occurred on Saturday night, the office was completely burned down with all its content, comprising ballot boxes, amongst others. President Muhammadu Buhari said it was his government's duty to imprison those who corruptly enriched themselves with the country's wealth. The president said at the presidential rally of the All Progressives Congress in Lagos that if re-elected, he would continue to focus on the promises he made in 2015.
I assure you, we will maintain focus. Whoever is trusted with public responsibility must account for it. If that is not done, we will eventually get hold of them, take away what they have stolen, and get them in prison.
The president vowed to eventually prosecute those who had yet to return Nigerian stolen wealth and imprison them. The presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has promised to ensure that a deep-sea port is established in Cross River State. The candidate, who spoke during his presidential campaign rally in the state, also promised to see to the construction of a superhighway in the state. Also speaking, PDP National Chairman Uche Secondus warned the APC-led federal government against stifling the nation's critical democratic institutions.
But we believe that our state institutions should not be destroyed because of one man. They cannot destroy Nigerian police force. They cannot destroy the military because these are state institutions. And we believe that they will not take side. The police must not take side. The military must not take side.
The All Progressives Congress say the party is not responsible for the giant broom monument mounted at the city gate in Abuja. The structure, a broom, which is a symbol of the All Progressives Congress, has generated widespread reactions from Nigerians, with some questioning why a party symbol will be erected at such a monumental position as the city gate of the Federal Capital Territory. The APC Publicity Secretary, Lanre Isao Nilu, says the giant broom was erected by Nigerians who support the Buhari-led administration. Meanwhile, the People's Democratic Party has refused the APC's explanation in which the ruling party distanced itself from the construction of a giant broom monument at the city gate in Abuja. PDP's National Publicity Secretary, Kola Olebondiyon, said that the APC deliberately mounted the statue of the broom near the national monument to impose itself on the consciousness of the people. Olebondiyon said the statue is a sympathetic metaphor on the life of the nation.
I don't think that anybody ever thought of it to go and put our symbol as a monument or as a statue at the city gate. I don't believe that this administration has come to their wits' end. and they are doing everything possible to impose themselves into the consciousness of the people. But that will not stand. You can imagine in an environment like the city gate, surrounded by IDPs here and there, that the government will go and spend millions of naira to erect a statue of a drum.
The governor of Zamfara State, Abdulaziz Yari, says he and other APC members in the state have continued to campaign because there is no case presently before the court. Consequently, the governor said the party had the right to conduct its campaigns, contrary to the information being shared in some quarters. At the media briefing in the state, he called on the Independent National Electoral Commission, which has said the party would not field candidates in the state, to comply with a court order which declared the primary elections conducted in the state as lawful and valid.
Political parties, including APC, participated in the primaries, and all the names are here on this certified through copy by INEC. The names of APC people is on this list, and other parties. It's our dismay how could INEC single-handed APC and said they have not won the primaries after they have a true certified copy from them. This is the evidence that presented before the court. And up to now, there's no imperial court who ported this judgment.
And the national chairman of Social Democratic Party, Olu Fale, is denying resigning as the national chairman of the party. Fale, who spoke to newsmen at his residence in Akure, said he only retired from active politics.
I decided last year to retire on I think the age of 80 from partisan politics. But this is yet to be announced for a number of reasons. So the public does not know this. Number one, my backdated birthday was on the 21st of September last year, which was only 13 days to the National Convention. Now, if I were to announce my retirement, 13 days to a National Convention, which of course a lot of disruption, discussions that led to the party decision to endorse the president. I was not involved at all because, as I said, I have decided that my successor should now run the party.
The Independent National Electoral Commission is threatening to reject the names of agents of political parties that do not follow requirements expected from the parties ahead of the elections. The commission said it was concerned that a week after the deadline for the submission of the list of poll agents for the presidential and National Assembly elections, and less than 3 weeks to the deadline for the submission of the list of candidates for the governorship and state assembly elections, only a few political parties had complied with the extant provisions of the law. Apart from that, he said most of the lists submitted by the few political parties were not accompanied by photographs and specimen signatures of the polling or party agents as required by law. National Commissioner and Chairman, Information and Voter Education Committee at the Commission, Festus Okoye, stated these in a statement made available to newsmen in Abuja on Saturday night. Meanwhile, prospective voters are decrying the difficulty in collecting their permanent voters' PVC. Speaking to newsmen at the INEC PVC Collection Center, they complained of various vices hindering them of access to the card.
For 3 weeks I've been coming. I have been coming. They send text again to reassure, thinking that it is ready. Do you know many people have even come here and they will still give them their temporary back that it's not ready?
Actually, I registered at Niger State and I applied for transfer. I and my husband collected his, but up till now, I can't. I've been here 7 times.
I've come here. This is making it 4 times to collect this. When my card is inside, they will bring it out, say my own is not there. But I have collected the same car. We went the same together. They snap us together. We enter the same car and come back house. And up to now,
the Nigerian Army is denying media reports that some soldiers of the 144 Battalion on routine patrol shot on traders and killed one in a market in Aba, Abia State. The Army, in a statement by the Deputy Director, Public Relations, 82 Division, Sagir Musa, said the reported molestations of Igbo youths in Aba was not true and intended to portray Nigerian soldiers in bad light. Although Sagir accepted that there was an incident involving 144 Battalion patrol team and some traders at as a Nento spare part market in Ugunabo local government area of Abia State. He, however, said nobody was shot at, wounded, or killed. He said that 6 members of the proscribed IPOB were arrested and handed over to the Nigerian Police, Abia State Command, for prosecution. The traditional ruler of Amofufe Autonomous Community in Igbere in Bende local government area, His Royal Highness Ezewakwe Omiko Kebu, believes that the All Progressives Congress APC candidate for the Abia North senatorial elections, Dr. Ojuzo Kalo, would win his senatorial polls and the presidential election for President Muhammadu Buhari in the zone. The traditional ruler, who made the assertion on the campaign trail of the former governor in Igbere, maintained that the outcome of the elections would deal a deadly blow to Kalo's oppositions and detractors, who he said will find the shortest route to escape because the land of Igbere would fight them. The outspoken monarch explained that Kalo's sterling performance as governor gives him automatic right to vie for any position in Nigeria. Governor Okezi Bazo has assured that all PDP candidates will bring democracy dividends to the people of Umunnochi and enjoy the electorate to stand for justice and equity in the forthcoming elections. The governor, who was addressing the people during the PDP campaign rally for Umunnochi, stressed the need for the people to make good use of their permanent voter cards by electing leaders with records of good performance. Governor Bazu used the opportunity to receive hundreds of defectors from other political parties into the PDP fold and assured the new PDP members that all their rights and privileges would be given to them, urging them to keep behind his vision of developing the area. News now on Flow 94.9 FM continues shortly with foreign, sports, and entertainment news. Stay with us.
Can you tune in Alex Otio, my God, man, Kaga, Yada Joro, and do a book in Georgie, Alex Otimo, and do a book in Georgie, Hachibua, Yanakana, Apuka, the best of Russo, it's Mula, we can be my foot, Alex Ot, baby of salary, due to development, infrastructure, here, Alex Ot. Can you tune in Alex Otio, my God, the man, Kaga, Yada Joro, and do a book in Georgie, Alex Otimo, and do a book in Georgie, Hachibua.
He hopped on when we do get wearing which out, Makochi, and what I will like an elu. I catch you away, with attack, and what I will be here. Enough is enough, Marao. I'll give in a Saturday, March 2nd, 2019. Saturday, March 2nd, 2019. Bani Dunge will vote and you know Lani, put your legs out in Abka, a base or a cooker. Cabia snow, fine now. It will have a vote to give it or a cooker. No, dear Kagoya, Obulao, Ukana, Rihonia Moania, Abia Nile Moania. Alex Oti Choco.
Alex Otimo, and do a book in Georgie, Hachibua.
You are listening to News Now on Flow 94.9 FM. Umuahia, the flow of God's own state.
Glad to know that you are still there. And now, away from the shores of Nigeria, Turkey wants China to close its detention camps following the reported death of a renowned musician from the ethnic Uyghur minority. Abdurrahim Hayit is thought to have been serving an 8-year sentence in Xinjiang region, where up to 1 million Uyghurs are reportedly being detained. A statement from Turkey's foreign ministry said they were being subjected to torture in concentration camps. China has described the comments as completely unacceptable. And in sports, John Mikel Obi believes Chelsea is missing their old guards following the team's recent struggles in the English Premier League this season. The Blues started the season in convincing fashion, battling for the title with Liverpool and Manchester City, but later fizzled out of the race and are now fighting for a top 4 place. Mikel spent 11 glittering years at Chelsea, winning a number of titles, including the Champions League with the Blues. Up next is entertainment news with Eric Samuel standing by.
Good and welcome to Entertainment News at this hour. Eminent scriptwriter and content developer for Tintel, Hosh, and Battleground, amongst others, has passed away. Osang Abang, whose name won't be forgotten in a hurry, also featured in African Magic Lego series Eve, graduated from the University of Calabar, and worked with veterans like Rachel Adore, Funlola Afuebi, amongst others who pay their respects. Late Abang was an experienced writer that worked across television, film, theatre and digital and print media with a demonstrated history in the entertainment industry.
His Chimdindu will give us the money. Yes. You know this man said we should write anything we want for Christmas. What's a good money, you know?
The conflict and confusion stirring social media over the last 2 weeks caused by photos involving Bow Wow and girlfriend Leslie Holden. Leslie, who posted on her Instagram stating that she will soon come out with the truth, urged persons who bashed her to keep up with the same energy when she releases the truth. Bow Wow, who is yet to release a statement, was backed by his team, stating that the artist was the victim of domestic violence from Leslie, who was intoxicated and attacked Bow Wow with a lamp and scarred his face with a deep cut from her fingernails. Well, that's it on Entertainment News at this hour. My name is Eric Samuel, and back to you at the studio.
Thank you very much, Eric, for that update. And of course, that entertainment update wraps the news of this afternoon. But just before we go, let's take another look at our headlines. President Buhari restates resolve to jail looters. INEC threatens to bar polling agents from Saturday's elections. Nigerian army denies killing traders in Aba. And on the foreign scene, Turkey asks China to close detention camps. Thanks for being with us. Remember, your vote is your right to a better Nigeria. Do not sell it. Do join us again at 6:45 a.m., noon and 6 p.m. every weekday for additional newscast. This is Flow 94.9 FM. The flow of God's own state. You can send your views or information to flowfmnews@gmail.com or visit www.flownews.com.ng for more stories. This bulletin was edited by Samson Eze. I am Chimdindu Chambers. Have a lovely day.
So everything feels so good when I'm with you.